Life's a wild ride, can't coast it. Buckle up tight, don't ghost it. Jokes flying past this crazy space. Knocking back laughs, leave a trace. Topic shift, we keep the pace. Life ain't mild, it's a race.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. This is Raw and Roasted again with Jamales and X. Say hi. So starting off the podcast today, new intro music compared to the first episode, completely made by AI. So hope you guys enjoy it, and we're gonna keep that for at least the moment being until we find a
For
better
at
one.
least this episode, right? For at least today.
Yeah, for at least today.
Right.
But
Until AI comes up with something better for next week. And that's what we
Right.
do. We'll just make this whole podcast AI. Whatever AI gives us. AI, give me some things to talk about.
Which actually, that is kind of weird because now it used to be like, it'd be like, a year comes along and then, you'd see advancements in like tech and stuff like that. And then it got to like months, and now with AI, it's going to get to like weeks where like from week to week, shit's just going to be changing.
You think it's weeks? I think it's like days now. Like days, things get better.
Well, I mean, I guess depending on like what the AI system's doing, like for like the new Apple phones, since they're going to be built into the processor, I'm guessing that they're going to be probably changing literally like every single day, especially for Apple.
Yeah, well, Apple's just that's one thing that's like scares me is like the way that phones can just read us now. Like I can't tell you how many times I talk about something at work and like I can open any app and it does not matter what the app and there's something about what I talked about. Like so I have a coworker that has a sister at West Point and he was telling me and he plays drums, so we were talking about this drum set. And I shit you not, I went on YouTube that afternoon and the first two videos that it suggested to me were the exact drum set, like an unboxing video of the drum set that he had suggested I get, and then a video walkthrough of West Point. I was like, okay, that's a little creepy. Like that's a lot of creepy.
That is very creepy.
Like I'm like, okay, they're listening. If it's like they're in my apps.
Well, I mean, like yeah, phones listen to you all the time for the ads, especially for even just like TikToks or even YouTube shorts. I mean, the amount of times where like, for instance, when I started thinking about doing a podcast, what I started seeing ads about, AI Opus Clip, like all these things to help you create a podcast. Or when I was thinking about like e-commerce, I would see a bunch of ads about e-commerce builders and all this other shit and stuff like that. As soon as you say something that you want to do or that you want, whenever there's the word want, your phone takes that down and is like, all right, motherfucker, I'm gonna show you this.
It's so my dad is one of those people that he if he's going someplace like weird, he leaves his phone at home. He's like, nope, they're not watching me. And I'm like, I don't really think that. Like, and if we're ever having a conversation on the phone, he'll be like if he's about to say something really sketchy, he'll be like, now, for whoever's listening to us, whatever I'm about to say is hypothetical, and then he'll proceed to say what he wants to. And I'm like, I mean, I don't know if it's that deep, but it might be.
Now I'm thinking that your dad would be the type of customer that I would deal with, where they would come in and they would say, I want a printer that doesn't need internet. And
I don't know if he's
you'd be fucking surprised how many times I've heard that exact fucking sentence said to me. And then this is why I want to get into acting and shit like that, because I'm so good at like just holding myself, and then just like I'll have a whole situation in my head that I'm doing, but I'll do something completely different in front of the person, just so then they're like it's hospitality instead of aggressiveness. And because they, like, for instance, today I was at my Best Buy and I had to deal with this person. So basically, when I go into my stores, usually like if I don't have like things to do or whatever, usually I'm just helping push products. So I'm just standing on the floor, like helping customers and stuff like that. So I'm sitting in the printer aisle most of the time. So I was sitting in the printer aisle today, like I usually do. And this couple comes in to the aisle, and they start looking at printers and start talking, bickering back and forth to each other. Honey, this one's good. Anyway, so I go, do you guys need any help? Do you guys have any questions? And he goes, no, we're just looking. But then they continue looking for like another 10 additional minutes or whatever. And then I'm like hearing what he's saying and stuff like that. And then my coworker comes over and wants to like print something off the printer for work or something like that. So I'm trying to help her out with that. And then she goes to try and help them, and they're like, no, we're just looking or whatever. And I literally looked at her and I said, don't even worry about it. I said I did the same thing. They're the type of people that think they know everything, and they're not going to listen to a salesperson. Not a goddamn thing. Because I knew exactly as soon as I heard him speak to me, his attitude and his persona, I knew for a fact that was what he was about. But this man looked like a shittier version of Trevor from Grand Theft Auto 4 or 5.
Yeah, how do you get
but
shittier than that?
Well, because instead of having like bald like just in the middle, like he was bald up front all the way back, and then like had like hair like basically falling off the side of his head. And he was saying that like Epson's a good printer, Brother's a good printer, and I'm sitting there like, those opinions are so garbage. And it's like, you're doing it based off of nothing. You know nothing. When's the last time you bought a printer? 1986? Like, oh, dude. The amount of stupidity that people have to that anybody that works in retail knows about dealing with is just ridiculous. Like,
I've never worked in retail.
Really?
I've only worked in customer service in like 2 jobs, and I quickly realized that it's not for me because first of all, I don't have the face to like, I can't be like central face. I get told all the time that if you ever want like an idea, just run it by me, and my face will give away the reaction before my mouth can even speak. So like, if you ever see like a weird look, I'm sorry, I can't control it. It's just what happens. Like, people will be like, "Oh, did he like that?" I'd be like, "Well, he said he did, but his face gave a different look." It's kind of like that. So I can't tell you how many times that in those jobs people would be just talking, and I would make some look, and then they'd get mad, and then I would of course be frustrated. So yeah, it was never a good time.
So speaking about the jobs you've done, what was your first job?
My first job, weirdly enough, I knew I don't know, I just knew this was going to come up today. I worked at a golf shop. I worked at a golf course. Never played a lick of golf in my life. It was in high school. Just found out about it. I was like, I wanted to work in sports, and so I went and just walked in. He goes, "So what do you know about golf?" And I'm like, "Tiger Woods." He goes, "What else?" Don't hit the ball in the sand or the water. And I know there's 18 holes. He goes, "Oh, so you know nothing?" And I went, "Nope." Somehow I got the job. Don't know. I worked there for about a year. Well, not a year like a golf season year, because parks are.
Was it like a mom and pop shop, or was it like a
No, it
chain?
wasn't mom and pop. It was just it was like our local park. It was so small, it only has 9 holes. It doesn't even have a full 18. Like, if you wanted to play 18 holes, you had to play the
so it was
course
like
twice.
the gift shop at like the end of the course or whatever, basically, or like the place where they can buy like clothes or golf clothes and shit like that.
Kind of like, yeah, you could go in, like, we sold golf shoes and golf clubs and snacks. It's where like you came in like, hey, I want to pay for like 9 holes of golf or whatever,
Right.
like
Equipment rental, like spot or whatever.
right. Yeah,
Okay.
like, and I remember he goes, my first day, he thought he was slick. He left the building and went to his car, and then he tried to call the golf shop on his personal phone. Well, we had caller ID, so it said his name, and I'm like, "Yeah, boss, what you need?" And he was like, "Oh, I was trying to be a customer," and I was like, "Well, you didn't plan that very well." That was like
So wait, was that
probably-
like the first job you applied to though?
Yes. Well, I don't know if that was the first job I'd applied to or not. That may have been like the second or third job that I applied to. Because I remember I applied to like Walgreens and stuff when I was like 15. And because I remember mom taking me to like the interview process and stuff where you had to like, and that wasn't even the interview process. This is like before you could take all of those tests online. So you actually had to go into the stores to take like would you be a customer service fit or whatever like that. I didn't get that job. Looking back, glad I did. Not a customer service. I'm just not like a people pleaser. I'm more kind of a say what's on my mind, and like when somebody's acting stupid, I'm like, why are you being so stupid right now? Like, I don't have the "you're always right" mentality. because most of you could probably attest to this. 9 times out of 10, the customer is wrong.
Yeah, but unfortunately, most of the time I have to agree with them. But yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. So yeah, my kids are gonna have it tough when it comes to jobs because let me tell you, I'm not gonna give a fuck about what job that they do when they start out because I've done, well, not every hard thing, but well, actually, you want to know what? In a sense, yes, I have done that pretty much everything. So well, one thing is that for like sales, I've done every type of sales that you can think of, every single one. Telemarketing, door to door, cold calling, car sales, energy sales, phone sales, now tech sales, insurance sales. Uh,
So you've just done sales.
I've done so many different things. Well, no, I haven't just done sales, but um, the first job that I had that helped mold me into the hardworking person that I think I am today is McDonald's. McDonald's is the number one, like, that's where I want my kids to have their first job because
Oh god.
after you work McDonald's, you will cherish any other job and do it properly. Because with McDonald's, well, I guess it depends on the McDonald's that you are. Like if you're, downtown Detroit and shit like that, or fucking, somewhere bad, Baltimore, where it's shitty, then yeah, it's gonna be worse there. But um, for the one I worked at, I worked on a throughway, so I worked on a throughway McDonald's. Now, throughway McDonald's sucks. It sucks ass. One, it's small. It's much smaller kitchen than a normal McDonald's. Two, you have to deal with and I'm married. I am married to a foreign woman, so I have nothing against foreigners, but a lot of foreigners going through. So a lot of non-English, okay? And it's
Oh,
not and you would think because we're so close to Canada, it'd be Canadians, right? You'd think it'd be Canadians, right? No, Asian. A lot of Asians. So we get like we especially like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sundays, we'd get buses at like certain times where it'd be like 3 to 4 buses of like 60 people. So you'd have like 180 fucking people just put in line in this McDonald's because there's no other place to eat at this fucking throughway. And so every time this happened, literally it was like Hell's Kitchen. It was like if you don't have my shit in front of me or if you're not cooking the fucking burgers, like get the fuck out of my way. Because that was the type of mentality. And then having to do the grease traps too. You've never had to do this. Grease traps. Grease traps are the fucking nastiest fucking things that you'll ever smell and ever get on yourself. Well, luckily I never like had a big spill, but I did see somebody like spill it pretty much all over themselves, and that was like, if that ever happened to me, I would have just left and immediately went home and took a probably 3-hour shower and then never went back. But luckily, I made it through until I had my what do you call it, college job for Lord's Camp and whatever. But for okay, so have you worked at any place though that like you visit like on occasion or like on like a consistent basis? Like for instance, like I worked at McDonald's, so like I've been to McDonald's a bunch of times before and stuff like that.
probably the only place like that, like the only, because the majority of time, like, so I've worked other types of jobs, but like, so I guess the last job that you would consider like that, I worked in a hotel, which I mean, I don't visit hotels a lot, but it makes me have a lot more respect for the people that work in hotels, knowing what goes on behind the scenes.
Okay, so the reason I ask you this is because I came up with this earlier. Have you ever been to a place that you used to work at and had experience or been treated in such a way that you knowing that you have worked that job before, that's just not how you do things, or you're just being stupid and you're just not doing it right? Have you ever had that happen?
Um, yes. So I went down. So I worked at a Best Western, and I went. So the good thing about Best Western is you got rates, like better rates at other Best Westerns or like any of Best Western's sister hotels. So me
Right.
and my ex, we went down to Gatlinburg. We stayed at a Best Western, and of course, like I'm in at the employee rate, and I remember I'm talking to them at the desk, and I'm trying to like get information about the hotel, and they're like, and of course I know the kind of stuff that they have to tell us, breakfast hours and pool, and I'm like, so I'm like asking questions about, I think it was about like the housekeeping service, like because I hate when housekeepers come in my room. It's like I don't want my room cleaned every day. And I remember them telling like, so there was a policy around Best Western everywhere where because it was kind of right after COVID, they didn't go in people's rooms. It's like if you wanted your room clean, you had to request it. And I remember not requesting it, and uh, so the next day or something like that, our room had been in, and I was like, "Hey, I had the do not disturb sign," and they're like, "Oh no, we go in everybody's room," and I'm like, "You're not supposed to. I know the policy. I'm in here on an employee rate," and that, I mean, that's pretty much the closest thing. It really wasn't that big of a deal, but that's about the only thing. But it was still one of those. It was kind of like, yeah, I know the policy. I work at this exact like type of establishment. It's literally just this same hotel in a different city. I have no sound coming through.
I muted myself because I was clicking that thing. I didn't want to bother you while you were talking. I gotta go grab a lighter real quick. So pause just a second. But there's a reason why I asked you that question. There's a story coming up.
Building anticipation. I love it.
Yep. I'll be right back, and I'll cut this part out, like Joe Rogan when he got this. All right. Speaking about Joe Rogan pissing, fucking, I just had to piss just because I said that. I was like, God damn it, that made me have to pee. All right. So the reason I asked that was with previous jobs. Well, let me go back like 3 months ago. 3 months ago, I got really bad food poisoning from McDonald's. So after that happened, I said no more McDonald's for me. Like, I'm not eating it ever again.
How long did that last?
It's still last. I haven't had it since. So I'm getting. So I like a couple weeks ago, my kids wanted Happy Meals, so I went to McDonald's, right? And I was gonna go to this deli shop that was like across the street to grab a sandwich for myself, but then I was like, I don't know, I was feeling really tired, and I was like, fuck it, you want to know what? I'll just break my pact, and I'll get McDonald's, right? And the thing I get at McDonald's is a secret menu item. It's a thing that they had it on their menu for like a limited time, and then they took it away. Don't know why. It's an amazing sandwich, but it's the Big Mac, but instead of the meat, you have McChicken meat instead. So you put McChicken in there. It's fucking delicious. but you have to ask for it that way. And so most of the time when you ask, people are like, okay, let me see how to do this. And then they figure out how to do it. Like, oh, I'll have to charge you an extra $1, whatever. I don't care. Do it. I want my sandwich. But sometimes, like this time, when I went, I didn't explain this. I had ordered their thing on the app, so I went through the drive-through just to like collect it, and then I decided to just get McDonald's afterwards. So then I just looped back around. So I went back around, and I go to order my food, right? And I'm like, all right, can I get the Big Mac meal large? But on the Big Mac, instead of regular meat, can I get McChicken meat? And since I've worked there, I know to call it regular meat because that's literally what they call it, and that's it's on their dial board and shit like that. Just so it's fucking clear. And the lady's like, okay, hold on a second. I'm like, all right. She goes, with like 5 minutes goes by, I'm sitting there, and she goes, I don't know how to put that in. Can you come around? And I was like, okay. So I go around. She goes, yeah, like, so you want like chicken on there? And I was like, yeah. She's like, well, I can do like the other chicken sandwich chicken thing, like the chicken breast sandwich thing, or whatever. But we'll have to do that sandwich and then add the Big Mac sauce on it. I was like, no, that's not what I want. I want the McChicken meat instead. So then she gets her fucking 17-year-old manager or whatever the supervisor is, or fucking. And she brings her dumbass out, and she's like looking at the screen or whatever, and she's like, yeah, it won't let us do that. Like the only sandwich we can make is this one. And then I was like, well, like I don't really understand why it's being such a big deal. Like I've done this before at plenty of other McDonald's, and they haven't really had a problem. All you do is say, put the Ask Me on there, and then just tell the person making the sandwich, put McChicken on there instead of the fucking regular meat. It's not that complicated. And I literally said that to her. I was like, it's not that complicated. And she was like, well, we have this sandwich made. Do you want it or not? Like, I have a full kitchen. Like, I can't argue with you. And I was like, no. And then I just swerved off. And on my way home, I was so... when I tell you I was so mad and screaming in my car, I swear to God, I was ready to kill someone. I called my wife on the way home just to calm myself down because I can't believe that it takes so much brain cells to just tell somebody and get a sandwich right, especially when the people bitch about their hourly, saying that they don't make enough at these fucking fast food restaurants. But then you're not gonna do what I want you to do for my fucking sandwich. Well, I hope you get mouth cancer. Honest to God. I hate you so much, I wish you're dead.
And you want your kids to work it here.
Yeah, because I want them to learn the value of fucking hard work. And also, if I go to a McDonald's and they get me fucking lip about, I swear to God, that'll be the last day that they are on this earth. So, yeah, that's one reason why I wanted to bring up the previous job thing, because I experienced that the other day, and like I also experienced it with it's not like bad situations when it comes to like other salesmen and stuff like that, especially like the last time I went to go get a car, because I've been a car salesman. Like I know what they're doing when they're doing it, because I used to do the exact same shit. So like for instance, like I played them on how much was left on my car. Like I originally told them I paid it off, and then they were like, oh, okay, put the deal in, blah blah blah. Oh, it's approved. Okay, cool. Come back the next day, and I'm like, all right, yeah, I actually turns out that I have like $300-$400 still left on the car or whatever. And they're like, oh, well, the deal's already approved. Like we'd have to submit a whole deal and stuff like that, and then get another approval. And I was like, all right, can you just go see what you can do? And he's like, yeah, let me talk to my manager. I was like, okay. So he goes talk to the manager, comes back, and he's like, all right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the amount, or we're gonna subtract the amount that you owe off of the total of the car. So then it just stays even, and then we can keep the deal. And I was like, thought so, because I know that's exact. Because you want the deal, it doesn't matter about that. I know how it works.
I wish I could do that. Like I always say that I'm the strong one. Like, oh yeah, I could go ahead and negotiate. And really, I just walk in and I'm like, hey, that's the car I want. I'm just run my credit. I don't feel like sitting here hassling. Like usually by the time I found a car that I want, I'm so in love with it that I just walk in and I'm like, I really want that car. I want that one right there.
Well, I have 2 years of car sales under my belt, and through those 2 years of car sales, I've dealt with a lot of fucking customers. Because honestly, I mean, even though like I said, I've only done it 2 years, I was actually pretty decent on my numbers and stuff like that. Like 1 month, I had like 17 or 18 vehicles sold or whatever. But and that was like one of my first months working there or whatever. But the whole thing with car sales is like it's such a unless you're in like the right state, right location, right spot, you're not gonna make the type of money you're gonna want to make. Especially like I learned that specifically for car sales. Like if you want to make money, you go down south.
Down south. Oh, for like cars?
Yeah, because car sales down
salt.
south, not only that, but the rates on cars and also the pricing on cars is a lot cheaper down there because they're not having to deal with the reoccurrence of maintenance and all this bullshit. But also like the pay structure down south is much different because there was a person that I worked with that used to work down in Florida, and he moved up here and he said he made the biggest fucking mistake of his life doing that. He said he was making like 10 grand a month there, but then here he was only making like 3 or 4.
Yep. I don't know. I could never get into jobs where I have to require or where I have to live off of commission. That just seems scary to me because I'd be like, oh, 1 off month and you're screwed.
Well, I never did like a full on commission only job. The car sales job that I had was like one of the lucky few. It was probably like the best pay structure, pay at least rate around here for car sales, because most car sales it's like for like well, I'm not even gonna say the names because you're not gonna know them, but some of the dealerships around here have what the hell was I saying? Mine's fucking shit in the bed right now. Something about cars. Fucking Christ.
Was it Chrysler?
Dude, it's the weed. Fucking. Oh my god, dude. Oh, that's right. Pay structures. Jesus Christ. Took me a second to get back there. Okay.
It was
Yeah,
funny watching
right.
you struggle.
Yep.
That's
So
what she
the
said.
pay structure. So some of the dealerships around here, like they're like $250 a week, and then plus your commission. It's not like an hourly thing; it's a salary thing. But for where I worked, it was the base salary was $500 a week, and then plus commission, and then based off of like your 3-month average of car sales, that salary went up along with your percentage of commission. So like the highest you could get is like $1,000 a week plus 10% in commission of the profit of the car or whatever, or the profit of the deal. And so where I worked was actually like a pretty good deal. Like there was 1 week where I made like $2,500 from a couple of cars and then my salary and stuff like that. But the whole thing with car sales is that it's a very very seasonal, fickle thing when it comes to like when people are ready to buy, when people aren't, and shit like that. And like being a car salesman, you kind of rely on consistency. You need like a consistent board. That's why a lot of people get like a pipeline of people, and then like once a car salesman gets like a clientele of like people and families that like trust them and then just keep coming back to them, year after year for cars and shit like that, then they basically don't have to do shit. They just coast through that fucking job.
See,
Which
the
is
thing
really
about
cool.
Kentucky is, so where I live, I'm like smack dab in the middle of like 1, 2, like 3 Ford plant, not 3 Ford, but like 3 large automotive industry plants. Like so the biggest Toyota manufacturer is here, and then I have the Ford truck plant is here that for the longest time made every Ford truck that you could imagine, and then also like the SUVs, anything that's on like that chassis. the Expedition.
Who says we
Explorer.
don't manufacture in America?
Exactly, and then also the just another Ford plant, I think, that makes like the Ford Escape or whatever. And my mom, so but the byproduct of that is we have a lot of parts manufacturers around us. So my mom's always worked in the automotive industry. So I always know what vehicles aren't selling, and it was always one of those like, I wish you could make a vehicle that I actually like, so I could walk into one of these dealerships and be like, I know for a fact that vehicle right there, it ain't selling a lot. Give me a good deal. But unfortunately, it was always like some ugly car that I didn't care about that wasn't selling, probably for a good reason. But I have expensive taste, man. Like I need the biggest and baddest SUV that I could get. Like, so I've got a Tahoe right now, and man, that thing is loaded. Like I'm talking,
Is it paid off, or are you still paying on it?
Oh no, I'm still paying on it. But it's got like the heated seats, the ventilated, the air conditioned seats, the panoramic moon roof, the heated steering wheel. And I like drive around, and I used to make fun of my mom because I'm
So you got like the, what is it called? Like, is it the SLT or something like that?
I think it's the LTZ package.
Yeah, that's what it is. Fucking, I've been out of the game for car sales for a while, so I've lost the name of the packages.
Yeah,
but
the
yeah,
LTZ, and I'm like in love. Oh, it's still like it's like a 2019 or something.
well, the
like that.
Tahoe is a nice car. Like, I'm not gonna lie, but it's a gas guzzler, and like especially right now
Oh,
with
yeah.
gas, like.
Oh yeah, no, I'm spending like 16 miles a gallon if I'm lucky, and it's like $80 to fill up. Yeah, no.
How far away from work are you from your house?
About 30 minutes.
How many miles is
It probably 20 miles, probably. So it probably takes me 2 to 3 gallons of gas per day. Hey, but I get 500 miles to the tank, so I'm Gucci. I only got to see that once a week. But hey, I've never had a problem.
Mine gets 500 to a tank too, but mine has like 40 miles a gallon because it's a Volkswagen Jetta.
I have a coworker that's got a Volkswagen. No, he doesn't. He's got the yes, he does. Golfs or Volkswagen, right?
The Volkswagen Golf. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the Golf. He's got like the 20-year edition or whatever. It's like a 6-speed. But
I got the hot bitch car, the Volkswagen Jetta. You know that? You know that theory?
No.
Hot women like exclusively drive Volkswagen Jettas.
See, well, I'm not into women, so we don't have to worry about that.
Well, not only women nowadays. I mean, this is a whole bright new world nowadays. So there could be guys doing the same thing too. But what I'm saying is back in like before the woke time and shit like that, there was like I don't know if you ever watched the show or ever heard of the show The League with the fantasy football team or fantasy football league.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so with. Bring that up. Never mind.
So at work, we're all really close. God, I hope my boss never comes across this, but we have a policy. I'm not going to do it here yet. We don't know each other that well, but at work we have a policy where if anybody starts talking and then they go, "Nah, I'm not saying that." It's like we immediately all look at each other and be like, "Nope, finish it. You got to say it now."
I'm gonna be honest. The reason I said that is because I lost my train of thought again. So I was just like, "Fuck it, I'll just move on."
You didn't want the dead air of
Nope, didn't want the dead air. So you guys like, "Fuck it, I'll just continue." But fucking.
So wait. If a Jetta is a hot woman car, what's the hot guy car? Just curious.
So that's where I was getting to. You brought it back up into my head. Volkswagen Jetta, the hot girl. So the league, the show, one of the dudes, Taco, he's like a big pothead or whatever, and like he originally forgot like his name when he was like 10 when he smoked weed, and then he just called himself Taco, and so that was what he was. Anyway, cut short, he does a lot of experiments or like social experiments that are just stupid. And one of those experiments was he found that like exclusively hot women are owners of Volkswagen Jettas, because every time he would find a Volkswagen Jetta, it'd be a hot woman, and then he'd end up screwing her, and then he'd write it down in his book and be like, all right, that's one hot chick. And then they did like a reoccurring thing in the Workaholic show where they brought it up and they're like from the league or whatever. But that's where I got the whole hot girl Jetta thing and stuff like that. But it weirdly was like a thing in like the like around 2010 to like 2015. Like college chicks specifically was Volkswagen Jettas. Don't know why. I think it's because it was a reasonably economically good car, to be honest.
So I'm reading on Reddit right now. What's the hottest vehicle a car can drive? Or shit, the hottest vehicle a guy can drive. All these thirsty women are just saying that I prefer to be his only ride. Me, a train. Sorry, these are cracking me up. I'm laughing at my own jokes sometimes. Whew.
No, it's okay. Feel free to laugh. I just fucked this completely
Not
up.
a Tesla. A bike. It's healthy, sustainable, and environmentally friendly. Okay.
Yeah, but honestly, fuck those bikers that you see on the road.
Take up the whole driveway. Yeah, that's awful.
Well, no, I mean, it's okay when they're going the right way, but when they go the wrong way, that's when it pisses me off.
Wait, you come across here? They have to ride with traffic. They can't ride against traffic.
Yeah, they have to ride road. Yeah, exactly. But when they ride against traffic, that's when it pisses me off.
That would piss anybody off.
Well,
We have a lot
I mean,
of
like,
Amish down here, so I get behind those, and those people they're even worse. Like it's like, okay, I don't know how many Amish people they're the nicest people ever.
I mean, I live in New York.
Are there a lot of Amish up there?
Yes, there's a lot. I deal with Amish and what do you call it? Mennonites.
Well, Mennonites can drive, so that's a little different, and use cell phones.
Yeah, speaking of that, Mennonites are just hypocritical fucking Amish people, okay? That's just what that is. I really don't get the difference. I don't get the cultural bullshit around the whole thing. I don't get the dresses and the shit like that. I really just don't get what they're doing.
It's something about the Bible. That's all I can tell you.
Wait, really?
There's something about like you have to wear a certain type of material and stay not.
You're gonna blow my mind if this is actually religious about Amish people.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing of Amish is like living in the old ways and like being the closest to the Bible, like following the Bible.
I thought it was more about like hard work and working with your hands and like doing everything.
No, it is all religious.
No? Oh.
It is all religious.
Dude, that blows my mind. Just like how the other day it blew my mind that I found out that what me and my friends used to call each other douche, like everybody used to call their friends a douchebag or a douche. Do you know what that is? Actually?
Yes, I do. I'm gay, so I know exactly what it's used for.
Bro, I did not know that. So I found that out yesterday. I found that out like yesterday or the day before, and I literally stopped my wife. I go, wait. I go, so you're telling me? Like, you're telling me right now. It's like this whole fucking time. That's what I've been calling my friends, and that's what my friends have been calling me. I was like, good God, help our souls.
So to give anybody that's listening what a douche actually is, it is what a female uses to shoot up into themselves to get clean. And in the gay world, the other end as well. So that way you know now what he knows, what he has learned. You learn something new every day.
The reason it came up was because I was like, before we went to bed, I was like, I joked, because she can't hear me. She's on her period right now, and I was like, all right, make sure to flush that out by tomorrow. And she goes, I can't, I don't have a douche. And I go, wait, what? She goes, a douchebag.
So,
or female douche or whatever. I go, what? And then she like looked it up and she showed me, and it literally said exactly that. And I was like, what?
So one of my employees, his girlfriend was on her period, and at work, when she's on her period, he calls her his little ketchup packet. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, my little ketchup packet's angry. I'm like,
well, my wife just gets aggressive and mean, dude. Fucking, like, last night, she felt... I went up behind her, and I didn't even spank her that hard. Only a little bit. And then she fucking... she, like, turned around and started splashing me with water and shit like that. And then I grabbed a bottle, and then, like, or a plastic bottle that was empty or whatever. And then I was like, don't do it. don't do it. And then she grabbed an empty water bottle, filled it with water, and then proceeded to hit me, and then threw it at the back of my calf as I ran away.
Women can be deadly. When I was younger, my mom used to watch all of these like Snap TV. It was a TV show on like Oxygen or something called Snapped. Basically, the only premise of the show was how women killed their husbands. Used to really freak me out.
I remember that.
Used to like really freak me out. Oh, okay, that's weird. Like, why are you making me watch this? You planning something? Oh goodness. So I saw something the other day. Do you remember? These are big back when I was younger, and when I mean younger, I'm talking like second grade. Second, third, fourth grade? You remember the zip off pants that had like they were like shorts and long pants?
Like at the knee?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm about to bring those back. It's been getting hot down here in Kentucky, and I've got to wear long pants for work. But the second that I'm off the clock, I'm like, I need to be in some shorts. I'm bringing them back.
I'm gonna tell you why they didn't work, and why you're gonna remember why they don't work. Because the metallic zipper.
All up on your knees and stuff.
Well, that plus you live in Kentucky where you get a lot of sun. That shit heats up. That's why like a lot of people ended up. That's why I didn't fuck with it, because like if it was hot out, like that shit fucking hurt. Like it didn't matter if it turned into goddamn shorts. When that thing touched your goddamn knee, it felt like goddamn sun was on it.
Yeah, I don't remember that. But maybe, I would like to think that in 20 years, our country, we have it's the word I'm looking for. We have moved forward as a society, and we've found a resolution for that problem, if you will. Probably not, but
well, I mean,
still
Velcro.
exist.
I mean,
Velcro. You know what Velcro would do? Although to be fair, it kind of seems like it's a woman's thing now, because I'm looking like I've been kind of perusing the internet trying to find like if they even make good ones anymore, and it's all like women's pants.
MGK wears a skirt. Guys wear shit now that doesn't even make sense anymore. I mean, just wear what you want.
That is very true. That is very true.
He also tattooed literally a black fucking like just shit. Like, have you seen that?
I've seen it. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of people that do weird stuff like with tattoos.
Tell me you're trying to be black without telling me you're trying to be black.
Yeah, that's.
Well,
it's MKG. Like his whole life changed after he thought he was going to be Big Shot and roast Eminem, and then Eminem proceeded to make him switch genres.
Speaking of music, you said you were you've performed music like live and stuff like that, or like in front of people.
Yes, I have.
What? I don't think I asked you, but what instrument do you play?
So I play a little bit of everything, but so like I've done multiple types of performances. So like in high school, I was in concert band and I played drums, and then for like a rock band, I played
this one or
like a lot of different things. So like in marching band, I played they were called quads. Let's see, I can even pull up the picture.
Is that the 4-drum part?
Yes, the 4 drums.
Okay.
And then in concert band, you play everything. So like when you're in percussion, you're a man of many talents. So like you play things like a marimba, a xylophone, drum set, snare drum, bass drum. You play everything. And then in a rock band, I've played bass and guitar, and then I'm singing as well. Singing is what I've done in every band. But then like sometimes I'm required to play guitar and sing, and then sometimes I'm required to play bass and sing. But yeah, that's pretty much the extent.
Like, have you ever been in like a band like after school and shit like that, or
like a rock band?
Well, not even like that, but like any it could be a country, whatever it might be.
Yeah, I mean, I just the last band that I was in, we broke up back in like February of this year.
Why'd you guys break up?
So the bassist was in 2 different bands, and he had to choose between the band that he wanted to be in. His wife made him choose. Unfortunately, it was a loaded ballot. No, it was a forced election, I guess. I don't know, something. But anyway, his wife was in the other band, so he kind of had to choose the other band. So
okay. Well, I mean that. Yeah, I guess that's
Yeah.
well.
I mean, but that's kind of fucked up. Be like, oh, I'm making you choose which band you want to be in, but I'm in this band. It's kind of fucked up if he was like, nah, I'm gonna stick with the other one.
All right. What I just dropped something somewhere that probably wasn't supposed to be dropped. I am trying to grab something right now because I was gonna wear it in the beginning and I completely forgot.
Oh, that looks like a
got-
Michael Jackson hat.
No, I got it from Puerto Rico from a guy. This is actually handmade.
When did you go to Puerto Rico?
I went to Puerto Rico this past was it April or May? Because I won this like year-long competition for my company where I was the #1 AMD selling rep in the country across the board, and they invited like all the winners for this like Achievers Club thing to Puerto Rico for an all expense paid vacation with you plus a guest. So I brought my mom because prior to this, when like there was when we figured out that there was actually like a real possibility that I could go, me and my wife talked about it, and like my mom has done a lot for us over the years. Plus, she's done a lot for just me personally before my wife and my family and stuff like that. And she has gotten a raw end of the deal for like the shit that she's had to deal with because me compared to my brother's okay. My brother's fine. My 2 sisters are fucking. Well, my one sister is now not that much of a dumpster fire, but my one sister is still a dumpster fire. So my one sister, who's the oldest sister out of all of us, she is 32 or 33 or no I'm sorry, that I am wrong. That was back when I was like 20. I'm 27 now. She's like close to 40. I always forget because she's like 12 years older than me, so she's 39. But she does not have a license to drive. She has never had a license to drive. Dancing and stuff like that, and like I'm not gonna dance with my mom. I'm sorry, because one, my mom dances like a fucking idiot.
Oh,
Well, she dances like a mom. That's exactly what she did. She dances like a white mom.
well, that would be really
listen,
bad if you had a black mom. Like, since you have a white mom, I would assume that that's probably on par. That doesn't shock me.
Yeah. What, do I look like I have a black mom? Is my skin that dark?
I mean, you do technically have a black mama.
Well, I mean, yeah, my wife is now, yeah, but freaking so yeah, so it's just it was interesting to hear that from her about that because it's like my mom has helped her like to ends earth on buying her groceries and buying her clothes for the kids and just doing all this shit and stuff like that because she couldn't do it because she was working some shitty cleaning job that didn't pay her that much or whatever. And then after she had a stroke, she thought that she was like feeble and handicapped and that she couldn't do things that would stress her out and stuff like that. And my mom had this same stupid thought too. And I was like, first of all, a stroke is a stroke. Okay. If there's no permanent damage afterwards, it's fine. Like,
Stroke is a stroke. In
like,
more ways than one.
But like what I mean is that like if she like if nothing stayed like slump or whatever and she's okay, like it was a fluke thing that had happened. It's not gonna happen again. Like just fucking get over it and fucking do what you need to do to provide for your kids and stuff like that and be independent. And the fact that my niece is 16 now and she's about to be learning trying to learn how to drive. The fact that her mom can't even teach her how to drive. I'm sorry, but like in this day and age, to be an adult, to be a functional person of society, you need to be able to fucking drive.
Well, unless you're in like the city, then you don't need to know how to drive.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, if you're in New York City and shit, well, that's fuck it. Well, it's too expensive for her ass down there too.
I would love to move to the city. So I would like. I don't know. Sometimes I want to move to the city, and then sometimes I just want to drive and like never come back to anywhere.
Sometimes I want to live in Canada.
I don't think I've never gotten to the point I want to live in another country. Like one thing that used to drive my ex crazy is he used to tell me all the time, like you don't ever want to travel anywhere like I don't want to go to any other countries really. Like to me, the only countries I'm going to are like the Bahamas, Mexico, like Cozumel, and Puerto Rico. Not Puerto Rico.
I was gonna say,
What is that other country? What is that other city in fucking Mexico? Cozumel and
you're asking the wrong guy.
Cancun.
Geography is
Cancun.
not mine. Cancun. Okay.
Yeah, the Bahamas, and then like those islands, Jamaica. I'm good with that. Like I don't need to go anywhere else. Give me the sunlight. It's like, why do I need to go to Italy? I got little Italy. I got little Italy in New York. I don't need to go to
Japan though.
I have no desire to go to Japan. I'm not like
Really?
my mom's been, and so did my ex, and it was just kind of like it's not my like I'm not a travel person. Like
It's not
To
about
the
the
ex-
travel. It's about the food and the experience of being able to grab literally anything you can think of out of a fucking vending machine there.
see
Okay,
that's where I'm different.
That's
Like
it.
my ex was like that. He was always wanting like the food, and I'm kind of like yeah, give me some ho hos and some Twinkies, and I'm good. Like I don't eat a lot. Like to the
Well,
extent
I'm
that
saying
I
because
eat,
like,
I'm not a big foodie. Like, like my favorite food in the world. If you could be like, what's any food you want right now? Give me a good slice of authentic New York style pizza. That's what I want. That's the extent.
okay.
I'm done.
I mean,
My
yeah,
list.
but like you're not gonna get better pizza than in Italy.
Yeah, huh? Thin crust from New York. Mm.
I've been to New York City. It is not that great on thin crust and stuff like that. And to be honest, even in Syracuse, like where I live, all the pizza places fucking suck. They all fucking suck. I go to fucking Domino's for fucking pizza. That's how bad all these fucking shops are. They're fucking terrible. Either the
Well, hell,
pizza
down here about
tastes
Little
weird.
Caesars is about the only thing that makes they're about the only ones that make an affordable pizza anymore.
Little Caesars too. I'll get a Little Caesars pizza every once in a while, just to throw me back to when I was fucking in elementary school, and I'd get a pizza with my friends, and we'd eat it at the basketball court, and then play basketball, then puke, and then
Well,
eat
I
some
remember,
more, and then
like so my favorite fast food pizza used to be Papa John's. And like back when I was little, I could get like a large Papa John's pizza for like $8, 8, 9, maybe even $10 if I went with like a lot of toppings, which wasn't bad, like for a large pizza because it was like a little bit better than Little Caesars was at the time. And but now it's like if you want like one large pizza from Papa John's, it's like $25, and I'm like, I'm not paying. Yeah. Catch me outside with some bullshit like that. Not
so I had Papa John's for the first time the other day. No, not the other day, but like within like the last year. Because my wife, like that's what she used to have in Kentucky was Papa John's. That's what she liked. And we got it, and I was like, honestly, it's not that great. It's okay, but like, and honestly, like if you go to like the actual Papa John's place, and like there's a day during the week where they have dollar slices, like that's pretty chill.
really? They sell it by the slice up there? That's weird.
They do in this one. I don't think they do it at the one that's closest to me, but the one that is at one of my further stores that I travel to, that one that it's like literally right next door to their store. That one does, and it has like a spot to sit outside and stuff like that. But
That's nice. I wish ours did that.
I
Actually,
mean,
I
it's
don't because
okay.
I like my whole pizzas.
It's okay. I mean, but if we're gonna go for like pizza around here, well, I used to go to Domino's purely just because we didn't have any else place to go. But when I got my membership to Costco, we go to Costco now to get our pizza because Costco. What? You got something against Costco pizza?
I just think it's greasy and
You hearing
soggy.
these people?
I just think that it's
Soggy?
greasy and soggy.
Then they must be fucking it up where you are or something because
I think
where
we only
I
have
am,
like
that shit is
we
crispy.
have like one Costco around here.
I cannot agree with you on that. It is not soft or soggy to me. It is definitely crispy here. The crust is like the best part. Like it actually tastes like. Well, there used to be a old like straight up old Italians owned this pizza shop that was right across the street from where I live now. It was called Nick's Pizzeria, and they closed down like some odd years ago or whatever. But they had like I can still remember the taste of it, but like that pizza was like the best pizza. Like it tasted so good. It was, and you like thin crust, like it was thin, crisp, like it was so good. But and you want to know isn't it fucked up how the dirtier and grosser the person that's cooking the food is, the better the food is?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I don't know how big Waffle Houses are up there, but I know down here, like if you ever pull up at like midnight to a Waffle House and they're outside smoking, like you first of all, just that's going to be a 5-star meal. Like you pull up to a Waffle House at 1, 2 a.m. They outside smoking. They look disheveled, look like they've been up for like 3 days straight, possibly methed out. 100% best food you're eating in your life. The best.
That and
It's
then
gonna hit.
also dodging the fights that happen at Waffle House. I've been seeing. Oh, I haven't seen them in a little while, but I used to see them quite often. You know, fights here and there at Waffle House. Man, they get fucking intense.
You see, I've never came across the fights at the Waffle House, but I know Waffle House used to be our go-to. So whenever we went on vacation, my mom always wanted to leave. She wanted to leave at night, so we would always leave at like 9 o'clock to go to Florida. It's about like a 16-hour drive, so we would like leave at 9 o'clock the night before and get there by like noon the next day or something like that. Because she wanted to drive at night, so there was no traffic, and it's a little bit easier to drive at night when you're on the interstates, no traffic. You don't have to worry about the sun, the AC, things like that. So we were, I think this was when we were on our way back. We stopped at a Waffle House. My brother had taken one of his friends. And so we're eating at a Waffle House like 3 a.m. And his friend goes, this is like right after we order. His friend goes to the bathroom. And so we're like sitting at the table, our food gets there, we get done eating. And finally, I guess somebody just decided that we need, like, hey, where's your friend at? Like, where's Brandon? Like, he's not back and we're done eating. We're ready to go. My man had fallen asleep on the toilet in the bathroom. Like, we're just chilling eating. And my man is snoozing in the Waffle House bathroom. Missed the entire meal, had to get it all to go and eat in the car. I don't know. I don't know what's worse in that situation. The fact that he was so tired that he fell asleep in the Waffle House bathroom, or the fact that we ate our whole meal and didn't think to check on him until we were done.
So my question is, do you guys have Denny's out there, or is Waffle House like the replacement of Denny's over there?
I know of one Denny's that used to be somewhere, but it doesn't exist anymore.
So I think Waffle House definitely took over their spot there. So, because literally what happens at Waffle House there is what happens at Denny's here. Like, I didn't mean to press that, whatever I just did. Forget that, people. Forget that noise. But at because I used to work at Denny's. Back in the day, I used to do the overnight shift. I was the overnight server. So that means I worked from 11 to 7 a.m. And so when I got there, it was, right at the beginning of when people are going, party and drinking and shit like that. I'm located, only 10, 15 minutes away from Syracuse University. So a lot of fucking drunk people and shit like that.
Go, Buddy Boeheim.
Fuck that guy. Hope he dies. But I had to deal with so much shit there. I worked there for over a course of a year doing that overnight shit. And I honestly, until like the last like year or two, my sleep schedule was fucked. Like because of that job. Like because you have to completely change the way you operate daily to work overnight, because you have to switch your sleeping schedule, your eating schedule, all that shit and stuff like that.
I don't know how people do it. I don't think I could ever do it, to be honest.
It sucks. It takes a certain will. That's why like I did a lot of jobs growing up that like they didn't seem difficult, but they were difficult and shit like that. And that's why I'm glad I'm in the job that I am now, because it's a lot easier. But back to Denny's, I get drunk people every single fucking weekend, every single night, like clockwork, around 2:30 to 3, because that's when the bars close. And then there was a couple times. There was one time where I got threatened by a couple of delinquent teens out there.
That's happened here before. Yeah.
Yep. And my cook Paul, he had my back. He came out and like got in between us and stuff like that. It was like protected me. He's a big, heavy man. So much taller than me. So he was able to handle shit. But because I was like 20 at the time when that happened, and yeah, I was probably like 21 or 22 actually. It's crazy how you lose track of like when shit happens when you're and what age you are when you're getting older and shit.
You're not even that old. I try to tell people that I'm
Dude,
old, and they all make fun of me.
Well, see, the funny thing is that so one of the reasons that I knew that that me and you would probably also be a good fit, like before we at the first time, was because your age. The age of like the kids because my siblings were so much older than me, I hung out with like a lot of their friends like a lot of the time and stuff. So I was around like when I was like 8, 9, 10, I was around like 15, 16, 17-year olds, and like talking with them, playing basketball with them, playing football with them. The amount of times I played football with like between like 16 to 20-year-olds and just straight up got. That's part of the reasons why I'm pretty sure that I have a back problem, like in my scoliosis. I'm pretty sure that's why, because, well, one, I never wore padding when it came to playing like football outside and stuff like that. And then when I played with people that were much bigger than me, there was one time where, you know what getting helicoptered is?
Not in a not X-rated way.
Okay, so not in the X-rated way, but because that happened a little later. But so what happens is when a helicopter happens when you're running and somebody hits your front.
Okay, yeah, I know.
And then also hits your back, making you fly midair like a fucking helicopter and then hit the ground. I had that happen to me when I was like 11 years old by these 18 and 20-year-olds. I remember just bouncing off the floor and not being able to feel it. If that happened nowadays, I would be able to move for a straight fucking week.
Well, that's everybody. Well, yeah, I wouldn't be able to either. That would be bad.
But back to the reason why I thought I knew it could be a good fit is that after my like sister and stuff like moved away and shit like that, and then their friends stayed around here. Like one of my really good friends, which I've lost in contact with, and I've tried fucking looking him up on social media and finding him. He has a social media, but he's never on it, and I don't know his phone number, and I don't know how to contact him. Well, I do know how to contact him, but I don't want to. It's awkward because I haven't talked to my friend Connor in a while, and like he's got a whole family now, and like I haven't talked to him before. He had a family and shit like that, so it's weird. But I hung out with him literally like every day throughout my like summers from like 12 to 14, just playing NBA and shit like that. And because I felt like I was, I don't know, talking with older people felt more, I don't know, easier, or it felt more like right compared to talking to people my age and shit like that. Because so my first word that I ever spoke was a swear word. It was shit.
Oh.
And I've been swearing ever since I was a little kid, like elementary school all the way through. Like I've been swearing since as far back as I can fucking remember. So I've always had like a more, I don't know, what do you call it? More sophisticated like personality and like higher thinking of like also comedy and humor and shit like that compared to like people around me and stuff. So when I saw like you were like 32, I was like that's like around the age that like my sister's friends were. I was like,
do not be putting those extra 2 years on me. I am 30.
Oh, that's my bad.
Do not give me those extra 2 years. I feel every bit of 30 every day. I don't even want to know what 32 has in store. I might not make it to 32 at this rate.
Well, speaking about age, so speaking about high school, what were you like in high school?
What do you mean by that? Like,
well, actually, my first question is: were you in the closet when you were in high school or anything like that, or no?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, this part of Kentucky is not like, even though like I'm closer to Louisville, which is like the most urban part, it's still not like this. It's still not the most exciting place.
Okay.
So no, I kind of spent all of my time all up in the darknesses of the closet till my dumbass ex. I came out for him. Not the coming out part. That part was fine. But dating my dumbass ex, that was the stupidest thing I ever did in my life. on her waste 5 years of your life on somebody that openly cheated on you in the beginning, because they'll do it again. Sorry, I'm still salty about that.
I feel
You
you.
can't
I
tell.
feel you. I feel you. I feel you. I mean, getting cheated on sucks. I got what? So actually, I kind of when I go to our fucking reunion, I'm gonna ask her straight to her face. I need to fucking know. I need clarity. I need to know if she actually cheated on me. It's not even like I have any remote like feelings for this girl. I just need to know because it's been rattling in my brain like if it's true or not. But it was perceived to be that she cheated on me with this guy that I was friends with, PJ, that we hung out with like a couple of times or whatever right before she started acting weird and getting distancy and shit like that. And then like I was hearing things about like her hanging out with him without me like knowing, like during when we were still dating and shit like that. And then they dated like immediately right after we broke up, so it was also a little weird that too. But then I believe she also then cheated on him with a person that was in a grade above us who was a senior. And I don't even know where the hell it went. I don't know. She's a bodybuilder now.
I don't know. My ex, there
bitch.
was so much unresolved stuff. So if I ever saw my ex again, I'd probably punch him in his face. Just straight out, just knock him on his ass. Like I have so much unresolved because see, the problem is like I didn't even get out a lot of my anger and ask all the questions because he ran away to Colorado.
Oh, really?
Like a little pussy. He ran away. He could never face any wrongdoing he did. So like the second I found out, he ran. A little pussy.
So I mean I don't hate her, but there was a girl prior to me meeting my wife. It was not the girl before her, but it was the girl before her. This girl I worked with at Lord's Camp the last summer I worked there. Her name was Sakura, and she was from Washington. She had moved up here with her grandparents because she was going to go to school up here at OCC, and I was going to OCC. So I was like, oh, that's cool. And so when we were like getting towards the end of camp or whatever, I was like, we're definitely gonna have to like link up once we get out of here and stuff like that, since we're gonna be so close and going to the same school and shit like that. And she was like, yeah, definitely. And later on we met, shit happened, sex happened,
Lots of it.
But she had this whole thing, like breakdown thing of like being alone here and stuff like that, and then like she like kept having crying episodes about like going home and stuff. And then there was one night that I brought her to, it was one of like the only times that I brought her to meet my friends and stuff like that. I brought her out to my friend DJ, who, God, man. And as the years go by, more and more of these names are going to be people that have passed away. But DJ has passed away too. He died most recently, and that actually I don't know how he died. Nobody's been able to confirm for my friends how he died. It was just super random. We think it was something to do with a car accident because he was not NASCAR, but since you're in Kentucky, the I think it's called slot cars. They have like it looks like almost like an antenna, like a satellite dish on top with their number.
I don't know anything about car racing at all.
All right, well, it's like dirt car racing or whatever, but like he was in like the minor leagues of it or whatever. But he's been doing it for as long as I can remember, with him and his dad as his team and stuff like that. And he's made a lot of money like winning tournaments and shit like that throughout the years. But that's the only thing that makes sense to us because like he wasn't doing any heavy drugs. He was he had proposed literally this like the Valentine, because this happened like either a week or 2 weeks after Valentine's Day, or no 2 weeks prior to Valentine's Day. And his ex-girlfriend now is, or she's alive, he's not. She found out that he was actually going to propose to her on Valentine's Day, like after he had passed away and stuff like that. So that was also super sad. Plus they had a kid that had just been born too, which is sucks major ass.
Damn, you successfully brought this mood way down.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I brought up DJ because dude, it's because being my age and having as many friends that I do, like already in the ground, I have 4 friends that are already in the ground. It's just insane. And they're
Knock
not
on
all
wood, I
from
don't have any.
drugs.
I don't have any yet.
Well, that's good. Cherish that,
Well, maybe
cause
that's because I didn't have very many friends in school, but still.
but you could tell that like a lot of the deaths from like my friend group specifically, like affected our friend groups and like how they've acted and how they've changed their lives and stuff like that. Cause like a couple of my friends turned to music and now they're like in a band together, and when like they were never interested in music or doing band and stuff like that. They were like martial artists and like
Martial arts.
yeah.
I always thought that I wanted to get into martial arts, and then like I take like one look at like a class, and I'm like, never mind, I can't do that.
So I mean, I know for a fact that I could be good at I'd be good at martial arts just because I used to train with my friend who was in a few different kickboxing matches and won them, and then also he did like karate, grappling, mixed martial arts, whatever it was, he did. But I used to train with him and like grapple him and shit like that, and he could not beat me, nor could I beat him though. It was
Fun
always
fact,
a stalemate.
I had a friend that I used to grapple with a lot. Our clothes were off, but we grappled a lot.
I was gonna say.
I make a lot of sex jokes too, by the way. Those are my go-to.
But why did I mention? Oh, right, DJ. Yeah, right. Back to Sakura. That's where we got into it. It was DJ's birthday. So I brought her there, right, and she brought a water bottle, right. I thought it was water. Like I honest to God thought it was water that she had brought with her, but she had brought vodka, like in a water bottle or whatever. So she was drinking, and like I didn't know that she was drinking when she was drinking. And then on top of that, we started smoking weed and stuff like that. She took. I'm not even lying to you. I can't even make this shit up. This was like a fucking movie of like shit that you don't want to happen when people smoke weed. Especially around your friends the first time. But she takes a hit, right? She takes a shit. Like falls back and like becomes just like not there for a second. Like I'm literally like, babe,
Like just gone, like just toasted.
What's going on? What can I do for you? And then she all of a sudden just like almost like she had woken up from like a dream. She was like, like we need to go, or like something like that. Like, and basically we had to leave or whatever. Anyway, we ended up leaving. I'm like, all right, I'll bring you home or whatever. But then she's like, no, I don't want to go home yet. And I'm like, okay. So then we like parked out in front of my house because I didn't want to go in the house because she was drunk. And she like starts getting like handsy with me or whatever. And I'm like, well, you know, man, it's not good. It's a good idea. And she's like, no, it's okay or whatever. I'm like, okay. So we do that or whatever, get the business done. And then I'm like, all right, let me take you home now. And she's like, okay. So then I take her home, right? And I let her out the car door, and then I wait for her to get to the door. Right? I watch her get to the door, and I see her grab the doorknob, and I'm like, okay, she's fine. So then I finally go. Anyway, that next morning I get a text about like, I can't believe you would, I never thought you would do something like this to me. You know, you left me in the middle of the driveway and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's not what happened. I was like, I was completely sober. I was like, I know what happened. And like she made like a whole big deal out of this, and like it was just honestly ridiculous. And then like that ended up bleeding into like us kind of like breaking things off, and then she moved back to Washington. But crazier fucking story to go on top of this that connects. 3-4 years later, so probably like 2 or 3 years ago now, I'm on PlayStation, right? I'm on PlayStation playing Call of Duty Warzone, and I join a random squad, and they got mics on, right? And one person has mic on, and I'm like, hey, what's up, dude? He's like, hey, what's up? And because my name has like it was like J Mails J Mails 12 or something like that, like they can see my name, and all of a sudden I hear in his mic in his background, I hear, is that Jesse Mails? And I go, whoa. I like, wait. I get very close to the mic. I'm like, I'm like, who the fuck just said my goddamn name? I was like, who the hell is this? And then the dude's like, are you Jesse Bales? I go, who the fuck wants to know? And then all of a sudden I like hear a girl's voice, and I'm like no fucking way. And it's Sakura in Washington with her new boyfriend, watching him play Warzone. So now I'm in a fucking squad with my ex's current boyfriend.
I'm done. Out. I quit this group.
No, I think I played the game out. I honestly can't remember, but it was the odds of that fucking happening is honestly insane.
Well, have you seen the? There's a video of it's on like social media. Yeah, I've seen it once or twice, but it's of a guy that's dating a girl, and he's just like scrolling through Omegle or like some video chat room, and he comes across this guy, and he sees his girlfriend sitting in the background, and he's like, "That's my girlfriend Sarah," and he's like, "No, it's not. It's my girlfriend, and it's so and so." And he's like convinced that his girlfriend has another life, and it's actually her long lost twin that she didn't know she had. And it was like so weird. They lived in like, I don't know, it was like California and Texas or something like that. I'm totally made those states up, but yeah, that kind of stuff's weird. It makes me wonder if it's staged. Well, that video anyway. But that's what made me think of it, was because it's like what a small world that is. Kind of like how I went to school with your wife, and I met you in New York.
Yeah,
Weird
that's why
shit
I say
happens.
this fucking universe, man, and shit. They say shit doesn't make sense, but shit is connected in some fucking way. Even though they haven't been able to figure out what is it, quantum entanglement, and shit like that. That shit exists, man.
I think I'm gonna have to smoke for the next podcast, so that way I could be feeling what you're feeling, because you're over there, you're like, man, the universe, it knows what it's doing. The universe,
dude. I mean, you probably didn't hear about this because you're not in New York, but the like yesterday or 2 days ago, a meteorite broke apart above New York City, 30 miles above or whatever. It was like 11. I forgot how big it was or whatever, but it was pretty big. And like NASA didn't even mention anything about like it like happening and stuff like that. And then they were like afterwards, oh yeah, New York City, that area gets that every 1 or 2 years. Okay, well if it didn't break apart, people could have died. I probably would have been nice to know.
Well, I mean, I guess to be fair, like you do that. Like the problem is, like, so I've often wondered this. It's like if you tell people, it's like people are gonna die and then nothing happens, or you don't tell people and then people die. It's kind of like, what's worse? It's like, because that the second like that something like that happens, that the city of New York is going to collapse. Like, be real, New York looting, anybody that owns a store, they're dead. Like, just everything that you have is gone because everything's getting stolen.
I mean, did you have any issues with banking or gas or anything like that yesterday or the day before? Was it?
Yeah, it was yesterday. And no, I didn't. I didn't even know it had happened. Like, the only way that I knew about it is I have a friend on Facebook that like works for, I think he's like a flight attendant for like United Airlines or American Airlines or something, and he had posted something, and I'm just sitting at work, just chilling, and my mom texts me at like noon, and she's like, "Have you heard anything about the gas stations not being able to pump gas or not being able to buy gas?" And I was like, "No, I have no idea." So I'm like, "Let me log in and look, or let me get on Facebook."
For those people who don't know what we're talking about, yesterday, what was the date?
July 19th.
July 19th, there was, so Microsoft came out with an update, and the update did not go well. Let's just say there was a bug in it that caused major issues in information getting sent all across the board, including airlines, banks, and things like that. So like there was gas. I heard there was so the reason I heard of it because we have a Teams chat on Microsoft Teams, and people were like chatting a bunch about it that morning, and I was like, what the fuck's going on? And like I read it, and they were like, yeah, some gas stations near me are only taking cash because their credit card machines aren't working and shit like that. And one person like said it was like a cyber attack, and then like I looked into it, it wasn't a cyber attack or anything. It was just bug in a fucking update.
But that is where our next attack comes from, by the way, just so people know.
Well, that's what I was getting to. Like with New York City, that's the only way looting will occur is like if the internet goes down, like that infrastructure will it will burn.
Is there even like out of the city, like let's say something massive happened, would there even be a way, like what would be the lead time that somebody would have to say something to get everybody out of New York City? I wonder. I'm sure that there's a statistic on that. I'm sure somebody's done a study.
Yeah, I don't know, because honestly, with the bridges, there's very limited like space on like how you fucking get out of the city. To be honest,
Yeah, I mean,
and it
most
also
people would
depends.
have,
I guess
they wouldn't be able to drive. It would almost have to be on ferries.
I was gonna say it depends on like how they were doing transportation. If they did like they did both, if they did flights, if they did trains, and then they also did like traveling like limited or something like that. Then I don't know what the time frame would be, but it'd be still a long time. But if 'cause I have this written down, if the world was ending, how would you want, like, out of all the ways that you've seen on television or movies and shit like that, what would be the way that you would want the world to end?
Ooh.
Wait. Hang on.
I want to be nuked. Just straight nuked. Right on my house.
So Fallout?
Just the explosion just on my house, so I don't even know it hits me.
See, I would never want to Fallout. Because did you watch the Fallout show?
No.
At all? It's a great watch. I really suggest it. But, yeah, after watching that, I'm like, thank God. Well, not thank God. I mean, like, because that could happen any day. But hopefully it doesn't happen or whatever. But the way I would want it, well, I mean, if it could happen, would be zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, but see, I don't want anything where I have a chance of survival, because then I'm gonna stress, and I don't want to stress. I just want to go peacefully. I don't want to know what's gonna happen.
Well, so I'm a big fan of Walking Dead or whatever, and I've been watching that show for forever. And one of the constant like conversations me and my friends would always have would be like, okay, if zombie apocalypse happens, where are we meeting? What's the plan? What are we doing?
Fun fact: I've never seen one episode of that, and the creators are from Kentucky. Never seen one episode of The Walking Dead.
I didn't even know they're from Kentucky, but I mean that's also a good watch, man. I mean, I
could go down a list of all the shows that I've never. All right, so I've never seen an episode of Breaking Bad. Never seen an episode of The Walking Dead. Never seen an episode of Game of Thrones. Never seen an episode of whatever that new show is that's supposed to be the Walking Dead like prequel, not The Walking Dead.
Fear the Walking Dead. Or are you talking about the Dragon House?
Yeah, Dragon House. I've never seen an episode of that. I've not seen like any of the most.
Or House of Dragons. Sorry.
Yeah. Never seen like any of those Stranger Things. Nope, never seen that. Yeah, I'm not seeing like.
Let's talk about like staple movies that like everyone should see, because my wife surprises me every day of the shit that she hasn't seen, but I keep forgetting that like obviously she grew up a little bit in Honduras, so she wasn't.
I don't know. I have like a weird sense of humor. So like the movies that I think people should have seen is like weird. Like my top two for anybody that I would recommend anybody: Dumb and Dumber and Super Troopers. It's my go-to. My go-to favorite movies.
What'd you think about Super Troopers 2?
The same thing I thought about Dumb and Dumber 2. I thought that they tried to play too much into the first.
Yo, okay, yes, I can agree with that, but I enjoyed them nonetheless because
100%. I loved both of them. I loved the fact that Super Troopers 2, that was like fan funded. Like there was the fans gave them money for that, which I love even more.
Yeah, they did it through Kickstarter, I think, or something like that.
I remember that they only like had set like 150,000 again, making numbers up, like $150,000 budget, and like overnight it like tripled. Like they got triple what they wanted, which is why they were able to like I guess do it so well the second time.
And then that led into them a majority of them getting into FD Tacoma, that new show.
Yep.
But Dumb and Dumber 2, I think has two of the best scenes in both the movies. To be honest, the scene where Lloyd gets his hand stuck in that old lady, that shit's fucking hilarious. That shit had me crying the first time I saw that. That, and then also when they do the fart attack to that dude who's trying to kill them. That shit is hilarious too.
Yes. Well, like I probably quote more from those two movies. Like my favorite saying, and it's on social media all the time, but as the chance at the end of the first movie where Mary Swanson, she tells him, she's like, there's like a 99.94 chance that I'm never gonna date you. And he looks at her and he goes, so you're saying there's a chance? That's me right there. Anytime. People are like, yeah, I'm probably never gonna date you. So you're saying there's a chance?
So, like, I do agree, like, you know, there's sequels and shit like that shouldn't have been made and stuff. Like, well, one sequel that they recently did that was actually very good was the Beverly Hills Cop. That was a sequel done well and done right. It had all the characters, honestly, like, to the point where, like, you could show, like, side-by-side, like, similar scenes of the previous movies and do a side-by-side comparison and see the similarities of how they're speaking, their mannerisms, and everything. It was honestly really good. I wish there was a little more comedy in it, to be honest. Also, I thought that Joseph Gordon-Levitt being in there was kind of a weird, random choice to have, but it worked, I guess. But for movies, like the movies for me that people should have seen, Tropic Thunder.
I've never seen it.
It's the last movie in comedy that they made that has the old style of comedy in it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think I've seen parts of it, but I've never seen it all the way through.
All right. I'm showing you just one scene right now. I gotta show you this shit because this shit's fucking with Jack Black is fucking hilarious. Hang on.
Now there's some serious movies that I think people should have seen too. Like one of my favorite movies. Like first of all, I think one of the best movies ever made was Batman: The Dark Knight.
Yeah. I mean, the one that was the one with the Joker, right?
Yeah, with Heath Ledger.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
And then The Shawshank Redemption is also good. If I'm not mistaken, The Shawshank Redemption is like #1 on IMDb's movies of all time. Like one of the best movies of all time.
Yeah, I wouldn't knock it. Probably Pulp Fiction is up there too. Pulp Fiction is one that I think that everyone should have seen. Because that's
Gump,
just like
that's a good one.
Forrest Gump can go two ways. You can either like Forrest Gump, and I'll agree with either one. Like, because I like Forrest Gump, but I can also agree that like it is a preposterously dumbass fucking plot and story. But you want to know what?
Isn't that all movies? Like,
not most movies, especially with Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks isn't in a lot of movies that have like a really like just moronic plot. Like, can you name another one?
Of Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
Yeah, Big. Castaway.
Okay, that's when he was starting. That's different. I'm talking about like after he like actually was like, oh, he has established himself in Hollywood.
Sleepless in Seattle. Big, not Big. What's that? Castaway. Green Mile.
Green Mile was good.
Green Mile's good. I can only watch it once. I've watched it once. I don't know if I can.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a very sad and like fucked up story. I mean, honestly, see, and that's where my wife loves just horror and shit like that. Like, we'll be scrolling through movies, and if she sees like Murder X Death Queen #2, she's like, "Oh, what's that?" I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I'm trying to think of what else did he do? He did Captain Phillips. All the Toy Stories. Let's not forget Saving Private Ryan. I'm looking up all of his movies right now. Saving Private Ryan was a good one.
All right. I got this Jack Black shit.
Apollo 13. He was in a lot of good movies.
All right.
Don't copyright.
I
Oh, the ad.
Yeah.
that? Ow! Fucking Jesus! Oh! You're sitting on a nest of hostile enemy VC. Congratulations, Fats.
That's heroin.
Nothing, man. It's jelly. I'm eating jelly beans. Oh, I love jelly beans. No, you can't have any fucking jelly beans.
Back in the day, they used to do that.
You think you didn't want to get sick when he doesn't have the jelly beans? Oh, no! That's my jelly beans, Timo. No, no. Get from the back. No, please. Shit. Oh, man, I got to bust now.
There's something about Jack Black with blonde hair.
It's definitely odd looking.
Yeah, now you're dead. You won't do it. Hold up now. What the hell? Jeff is the bat, man. I don't know anymore. Jelly beans. Hey, guys. Jeff, stay away from that animal.
This shit.
I'm gonna bite his hide. I need to wear his stomach skin like a unitard. Ain't nobody doing nothing to no one about it. Now, Miss Portnoy.
And then you got Robert Downey Jr. doing blackface.
Put him up on that proof animal.
The only time that universally everybody was okay with him doing blackface.
Well, they weren't jelly beans.
Surprised he's not been canceled.
But yeah, dude, I highly suggest that movie, dude. This movie's fucking hilarious. But that one, trying to think of, well, Coach Carter.
I love that one.
Yeah, Coach Carter is a really good one. I think if you're living in Syracuse, you should at least see what's it called? The Express, the Ernie Davis story. Because that was actually a really well done movie about Ernie Davis from Syracuse and shit like that. Plus, it was filmed here too, which is kind of cool.
Well, I would hope so. I love Glory Road too, but that like
I was gonna mention Glory Road.
For a lot of
Glory
Kentucky
Road
fans,
is done by
obviously.
Disney too.
yeah, but for a lot of Kentucky fans, that movie is kind of like a no-no.
Hey, you guys fucking won at the end.
No, we didn't. Texas
Yeah,
Western
they won.
did. Yeah, Texas Western did, not Kentucky. Texas Western beat Kentucky.
No.
Yes, in 1966, Texas Western beat Kentucky because they made it about race. It was about Kentucky playing all white boys and our coach being a racist, and so it was the first black team.
I will almost willing to bet you that no. I remember that movie straight up.
I will bet you my entire life savings
he stepped
that Kentucky.
on that 3-point line.
No, that's how Texas Southern made it to the championship game. That somebody stepped on it. I promise you, go look it up. We did not
Bro,
win that
I gotta
title.
find this out now.
I have all of the banners on that wall back there. I can tell you every title Kentucky basketball has won. We did not win in 1966. I'll take my apology here in a second when you get to that point in the movie. Let's see here.
Okay, that what? Come on, give me the fucking ending. Asshole. Here we go.
Great content right here for anybody listening. We'll have to cut this part out.
Wow. Okay, I'm wrong. Wow.
Yep.
Mandela
That's
effect.
that's a blemish on us because it's like
That
it's always used against us.
I mean,
being a racist.
how the hell don't I swear. There is a basketball movie where they lose at the end. It's got to be. I must be mixing it up with somebody.
Now there is a scene in Glory Road where they thought they had lost, but then the NCAA overturned it, or somebody overturned it because they stepped on the line. They didn't have a 3-point line yet back then, but they had stepped on the baseline.
I keep
they were out
forgetting
of
about
bounds.
that. Yeah. Okay. Oh, well.
There is a scene in that movie that's similar to that. But yeah, that's we did not win that one. But I still love the movie just because I like the story and I like the way that they the way they do that movie.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they don't make good sports movies like that.
No, they
I mean,
really
they
don't. And unless it's about like a specific person, they don't really make very good sports movies anymore.
a lot of biopics and shit like that. Yeah.
Which some
Especially-
biopics are good. Like I love the Queen biopic. Obviously, that's
I
Queen.
actually-
That's not
I just watched that for the first time within like the last 2 weeks.
really. I went and saw it 4 times in theaters. 4.
I would say Eddie Mercury does a very good job on his performance. Or not Eddie Mercury, the dude who plays Eddie Mercury.
What is his
Sa-
name?
Ram.
Yeah, Rami Malek. Rami
Yes.
Malek.
But he does a good job. Also the what was it? The I don't know the name of the Queen people.
Brian
Individually,
May
but
is the guitarist.
yeah, the dude who plays the guitarist did a very good job at his character. And then I also, I mean, I don't know because I haven't watched any like the interviews of like what was actually like just fake scenes that they had to throw in there to spruce up the storyline and shit like that, and what wasn't real, like how from Straight Outta Compton or what was it called, The Dirt.
Well, they actually got so the 2 Queen people. Well, so 3 of the 4 Queen people are still alive, and 2 of them,
Yeah.
the drummer and the guitarist, are still in Queen. And they were producers on the movie, and they tried to get it as close to accurate as possible. So the stuff that is small or the stuff that is inaccurate is like stuff that they had to do to make the movie work. Like I know that at the end when he tells them that he has AIDS in the movie, he did it before their Live Aid performance, but in reality it was like a few years after that they told, and obviously they just kind of had to fit that in because that's a big part of the story of Queen was the AIDS, and they wanted to end the movie at the Live Aid performance, which ironically they've talked about doing another one, a Bohemian Rhapsody 2. Actually, I take that back. There was one scene in that movie that did not happen. The scene with Mike Myers, where they're sitting there saying that they want Bohemian Rhapsody to be the single, and the radio exec, he's like, no, we do not want that to be the movie or the main song off of this album because it's too long, and they make the joke
Right.
about, oh, I pity your wife if you think 6 minutes is long.
Yeah.
They wrote that part in specifically for Mike Myers because of Wayne's World.
That's funny. I mean,
Because Mike Myers, in Wayne's World, they wanted a Guns N' Roses song to be the song that they jammed out to in their car, and Mike Myers, who had never been in a movie before, this was his first movie, was told the director, he goes, it's going to be Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen or I'm not doing the movie. And keep in mind, Mike Myers hadn't done a movie yet, so it's kind of like, okay, well, I mean, I guess if you want it that bad, go for it. That's what they told him. So that's why they had that scene of
hilarious.
him and Dana Carvey in the car just jamming out to Queen.
I mean, I'd have to assume if they try to make everything like as accurate as possible, the only parts that would be like that they could actually say is 100% accurate is the parts where they're all together and they were able to witness and also perceive everything that happened. Because I mean, there was a lot of scenes where Freddie was alone and like they can't know what was happening during that. They just kind of have to fill that part in.
Right. Yeah, I think they did a very good job with it. I love it. I mean, fun fact, I guess it's not really. I mean, I don't know if it's a fun fact or not, but their manager so Queen's manager was also Elton John's manager.
Yeah.
Who was also gay and was in a relationship and married to Elton John.
I keep forgetting about that. Yeah, his manager was yeah.
So it was kind of like, even back then, all the gay people ran together.
That is true. It's getting late here. We should probably cut it, right?
Yeah, it's 11:30 here. Granted, it's a Saturday, and not to mention this is probably like 2 hours long.
Hour and 42, but yeah.
There's a decent amount you're probably going to cut out because I know that there's some areas that we kind of Well, obviously,
Right.
yeah, there's some areas we gotta cut.
All right. Well, everybody, it's been a good podcast number 2. I hope you guys enjoyed our little conversations. You got anything to say, X, to our
I
folks
do not. It
and
went a
people?
lot smoother today, though. Smooth like Jiffy.
It did. We are gonna be recording another episode and then releasing all 3 episodes at the same time. So by the time you hear this, they will all be out. Feel free to choose any one that you guys want to listen to first. Also, we have a TikTok and YouTube, so feel free to check that out. Raw and Roasted Pod on both platforms, so check that out. And I'm gonna play us out. Here we go.
Welcome to the show, it's raw and roasted. Comedy and chaos, yeah, we boasted. Life's a wild ride, can't coast it. Buckle up tight, don't ghost it. Jokes flying fast as crazy space. Knocking back laughs, leave a trace. Topic shit.
So is there gonna be like stuff playing over that?